What's good, guys? It's your boy Hugo the Savage back again for another Ahsoka review. It's season one, episode three. Yeah, because last week we did part one and part two together. That's how they presented it last week. Straight off the bat, man, this episode was good. Obviously, the last two episodes was a little bit longer. I think the last episode was 44 minutes, and part one was 57 minutes. Um, let's talk about the pacing of the episode for a start. I felt like the pacing it wasn't off. Well, I didn't realize the pacing was off until the show finished. But this might be just down to personal preference. So I feel like as I started to get into the show and get more invested, it was over. Which, with the stuff that they do inside the program, it's probably a bit hard to pace it perfectly because it's not a movie. But this episode was good. This one follows off the back of the last one. So obviously, they were trying to find a pathway to, I think it's called, what's it called, Padira or something like that, where Thorn was banished and Ezra is. So we go off the back of that. This episode starts with Ahsoka trying to train Sabine for continuing her Jedi training from what happened previous to when Ahsoka had left. So that's quite fun. A lot of callbacks to what we saw with Luke, the Jedi blind training. There's a part where the drone was kind of letting her know that Sabine's not cut out for this Jedi training and she's of the lowest rank, which I thought was pretty funny. So I really enjoyed that. Hera Syndulla, she encountered the Republican Senate. And to let them know what the next move was, which was to get to the path, get to Padira, and try and find Thorn. And they weren't really trying to hear what she got to say. They were basically saying that she's going to use up the Republicans' resources on a quest, which they think is just to find their long lost friend and not to have anything to do with Thorn. But she was basically saying either way, it's going to help in it. If we go to get Thorn and we find Ezra, that's fine. If we go to get Ezra and find Thorn, we can stop that as well. So they let them know about the Republic's ideas of trying to get there first. And also, I do believe that one of the guys who was speaking a lot in the Senate, I don't really trust him, so we'll have to see. But I believe he's part of the. I think he's part of the. Is one of the other guys, man. I really believe so. The Empire, the Imperial Force, and that. I really believe so. So we'll have to see what happens to him because he kept giving a lot of. There's a lot of rebuttaling he was doing to what Hera was saying. After the training has taken place, they voyage to to what they were trying to do to get to the same planet as Balin's skull was in the last episode. Morgan Elsbeth and that little girl Shin, which I have to say in this episode she was making me laugh quite a lot because she's got this death stare and her face is constantly. And let me know in the comment section, do any of you guys believe that she looks a bit like Elizabeth Olsen? I know what she looks like in real life, but in this, every time I see her in the ship, she looks like Elizabeth Olsen. But basically, on the quest with Ahsoka and Sabine trying to get to this planet, they encounter Shin trying to stop them, and it's by the request of Morgan Elsbeth, the witch. So there's a fight that they get into there. We like the battles in Star Wars. I want to say it lasted a long time, the battle, and because it's a 37-minute show, it felt like it took up most of the show, and a lot of shooting was happening and not much, and the girl's face was a bit, you know what I mean? There was a few cool parts to it though. They encountered Morgan Elsbeth's, what's it called? It's the hyperspace ring, which they later on find out what it can actually do, and it can do way more than they initially thought. And obviously this hyper ring is going to get them to where they need to go a lot faster, so they're heading towards that. They get into a fight. Their ship's disabled, and there's a cool part where Ahsoka jumps on she spacewalks, and she fights off these fighter jets on her own with lightsabers, which I thought was pretty cold. But that was kind of it for the episode. I wouldn't say the episode was completely underwhelming, but it did leave me with this feeling of, oh man, that was over quick. And there's a few parts of that. It's either the pacing's off a bit and it was moving too slow in parts, or I was enjoying it too much, which I think both at some point came into my mind. But special effects are great. It's probably going to be the same all the way through, innit? Unless they drop a budget in like episode 4 or something like that. I like the story. We know where the story's heading. Sometimes I feel like they can probably cut out a minute or two of a clip here and add it on to something else, because this number 3 episode didn't feel like much in terms of the story. we already knew where they were going to go. So I'll leave it there, man. I've been your boy Savage. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and join me for episode 4 of the review. I think this one was called Time to Fly. The other two, they've got names now, but they didn't have names at the time. I think it was called Master and the Apprentice and Toll and Trouble or something like that.